I had a look at this tweet, and you know what? From what Dr. Sophie, the Sentebale boss, said in her interview last week, Meghan Markle and Prince Harry are really Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds 2.0. Let me explain more. Hey up everyone, it's me, Stef The Alter Nerd, your nerdy alternative, and welcome to the Dose of the Daily Nerd, where I break down the royal news and gossip of the day that's pretty much caught me eye. And oh my goodness, yeah, let's jump into this madness, shall we? Because thanks to Ahura Zalendo, and if I've mispronounced that, I really do apologise, on Twitter, they turned around and said the Harkles tried to do what Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds did to Justin Baldoni, essentially forced Sophie to say that it was her own fault, that she didn't know where she was supposed to stand. And thanks to Uhuru, it gave me a little bit of inspiration. I'm thinking, okay, let me have a look at the highlights of what Dr. Sophie, the Sentebale boss, said in her interview last week, and see if there are actually similarities and parallels with Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds. And guess what? Oh my goodness. There is Megxie and Hazza. Their Sentebale crisis proves, in my opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever, they are Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds 2.0. I've done some research, and oh my goodness, you are gonna be surprised with what I found out. So here, first and foremost, at Brigantia__ shared this clip. And this is Dr. Sophie actually explaining what happened after that whole incident on that stage, on that polo stage that went viral. And so I'm going to play you a little bit of what Dr. Sophie says, and then I'm going to prove to you how this is Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds 2.0. Here we go.
The activity that goes with these additional amazing people, we're excited about it. We would have been really excited had we known ahead of time, but we didn't. And so the choreography went badly on stage because we had too many people on stage. The international press captured this, and there was a lot of talk about the Duchess and the choreography on stage and whether she should have been there and her treatment of me. Prince Harry asked me to issue some sort of a statement in support of the Duchess, and I said I wouldn't.
There we go. So Prince Harry turned round and said, look, Megxie's getting a lot of heat at the moment based on what happened on this stage here. Can you produce a statement and send it out to the press defending her? And Dr. Sophie said, hell no. We're not part of the Sussex PR machine. Get bent. Now, how is this essentially Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds 2.0? Because Blake and Ryan tried to do the same thing with Justin Baldoni. Tried to force him into taking the blame for the, quote, troubled production of It Ends With Us, with the negative press that Blake Lively dealt with while she promoted the flick. And so the alleged draft statement that Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds tried to force Justin Baldoni to put out read, It Ends With Us was a trouble production, which we take full accountability for. We're very sorry to everyone we caused upset to privately and publicly. Blake Lively, Colleen Hoover, the entire cast and crew, led with professionalism every step of the way. Any negativity aimed at them is ours to own. There's a lot more to this statement that they tried to force Justin Baldoni to send out. But that is essentially what Megxie and Hazza tried to do with Dr. Sophie. All that kind of controversy with what happened on that polo stage between Megxie and Dr. Sophie. Megxie and Hazza turns around to Dr. Sophie and says, can you put out a statement defending Megxie? And she says no. She says no. And look at where we are now. Hazza trying to force out Dr. Sophie, allegedly, from Sentebale. Interesting, no? Now, let's get on to the next evidence that I have for you guys, where Hazza and Megxie are essentially Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds 2.0. What happened when she wouldn't play ball and not send out that statement? Here we go.
I obviously have to put this to both of you.
Yes.
What you're essentially saying is that the Duke of Sussex is guilty of harassment and bullying and improper conduct in the governance of a charity.
Well, let me put it to you this way. I'm going to give you a really good example. The only reason I'm here, Trevor, is because at some point on Tuesday, Prince Harry authorized the release of a damaging piece of news to the outside world without informing me, or my country directors, or my executive director. And can you imagine what that attack has done for me, on me, and the 540 individuals in the Sentebale organizations and their family? That is an example of harassment and bullying at scale. And so if the world didn't want to believe that there's such a thing as bullying, this unleashing of the Sussex machine on me and the 540 employees at Sentebale who received this and have had to defend it.
There you go. So when she wouldn't play ball with Hazza and Megzi, they, allegedly, we're going to have to say that, used their Sussex PR machine against her. Now, what did Blake Lively do? Ha! She used her own PR machine against Justin Baldoni. And this was the article that kicked it all off. We can bury anyone inside a Hollywood smear machine. Private messages detail an alleged campaign to tarnish Blake Lively after she accused Justin Baldoni of misconduct on the set of It Ends With Us. The allegation here is that Blake Lively is behind this article that the New York Times published, which kicked off this whole lawsuit between Blake Lively, Justin Baldoni, and vice versa. Here, Blake Lively, allegedly, trying to use her PR machine, her weight, to bury Justin Baldoni publicly. Just like what Hazza and Megzi have allegedly tried to do publicly to Dr. Sophie. Bury her publicly, using their own Sussex PR machine. Now, let's get on to the next example. My goodness, my research is extensive on this one. And so let's play this particular clip from Dr. Sophie's interview.
Worse trolling. That's what would have happened.
You said that Prince Harry wanted to, I'm quoting here, force the failure of the charity. Why on earth would he want a charity he founded in memory of his mother to fail? I mean, that's... He would have some justification for feeling hurt at allegation.
To be honest, it's a last resort. Really, what Prince Harry wanted to do was to eject me from the organization, and this went on for months. It went on for months through bullying, harassment. I have documentation. There were board meetings where members of the executive team and external strategic advisors were sending me messages saying, should I interrupt? Should I stop this? Oh my gosh, this is so bad. In fact, our strategic advisor for fundraising then sent me a message saying she wouldn't want to ever attend any more board meetings or bring her colleagues because of the treatment. When that failed, Prince Harry started to brief, and his team, sponsors that I'd been speaking to against me and the charity, because that is a sure way of getting me out if it's seen as though I'm not being successful in my fundraising efforts.
And so here, she's essentially, Dr. Sophie is essentially alleging that Hazza and Megzi tried to sabotage sponsors against her and the charity Sentebale, right? Well, guess what? Yeah, Hazza and Megzi seem to be Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds 2.0, because Blake Lively tried to sabotage the studio against Justin Baldoni. How? Well, in my opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever, this article proves it. This is from the Daily Mail, and Blake Lively claims she stole a rough cut of It Ends With Us to screen without studio permission in a now viral video. And so in footage taken at the book festival, Colleen Hoover's Book Bonanza, Blake Lively teased that she would show an unfinished version of the movie without permission from Wayfarer, which was co-founded by Justin Baldoni, or Sony. While speaking to the crowd, she says, "This is not a bit, it's literally not done. To be honest, what really happened is we were like, we're going to show the movie. The studio was like, no, you're going to show 20 minutes. We're like, no, we're going to show the movie. And they're like, it's not done. And I was like, they don't effing care." And so here, it's like, for me, Blake Lively right there was trying to sabotage Justin. How? By providing her own rough cut to the public before the film was even released. So that once the film was released, people may have turned around and says, hang on a minute, this is different from the cut that Blake Lively showed us at that book festival. We prefer Blake Lively's version over Justin Baldoni's version. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. You get it? And then when that didn't work, right? Check out what I found out next to prove that Hazza and Megxie are essentially Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds 2.0. Here we go with this. So here, The Sun is reporting again on Dr. Sophie's interview, and she turned around and she said that Prince Harry lost a charity venue for Sentebale because he wanted to bring the Netflix crew with him. And so initially, right, this charity venue turned around and says, yeah, we can give you a very highly discounted rate because it's for charity, blah, 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 blah. Once it transpired that Prince Hazza wanted to bring the Netflix crew with him, the charity venue quite rightly turned around and says, well, hang on a minute, now this is a little bit more commercial, we're going to have to up our rates. Rates that Sentebale couldn't afford, and so they were priced out and they lost the charity venue. This, okay, is in direct link to Hazza and Megxie being Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds 2.0. Because ultimately, through Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds trying to take over that movie, take over the ownership, take it all from Justin Baldoni, Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds ultimately missed out themselves. How? Because they're now persona non grata in Hollywood at the end of the day. Here, Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds skipped the SAG Awards, following all the backlash that they're getting at the moment. So, through Prince Hazza's hubris of trying to involve the Netflix crew, the charity Sentebale lost out, essentially, with this whole charity venue situation. Just the same as Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds and their hubris of trying to take over a film that wasn't theirs to begin with. They now have lost out themselves because they're persona non grata in Hollywood. And now the Sentebale boss, Dr. Sophie, is slamming Harry and Meghan as toxic for the charity. Quite rightly so. And guess what? That, to me, proves even further that Hazza and Megxie are Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds 2.0. Why? Because they're now too toxic. They are now too toxic for Hollywood. Here, Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds, are we witnessing the downfall of Hollywood's golden couple? Again, Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds not attending any awards anymore. Here, the article showing that they're skipping the SAG Awards. And here, more recently, we've got Ryan Reynolds now under fire, considered as toxic. Not only him, though, but his beloved Deadpool franchise as well, with him being under fire for getting his daughter to say an explicit line in Deadpool and Wolverine. Not just once, though, but reportedly like 40, 50 times. A very, very disgusting line in Deadpool that he forced, essentially, allegedly, a little girl to say. Doesn't look good, does it? So where we have Dr. Sophie slamming Megzy and Azza as toxic, they are definitely Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds 2.0, because Blake and Ryan are now considered as toxic themselves in Hollywood. So, with that being said, if you appreciated this video and you want more, and believe me, of course, there's going to be more, you do not want to miss my next video, then make sure you subscribe to join our Alter Nerd tribe, like, share, comment down below your opinion, conspiracy theories, whatevers. Do you think that Meghan Markle and Prince Harry are Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds 2.0? Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you so much for tuning into this video. I appreciate all your faces. And until the next time, you guys, laters.